Welcome to Crossbody of Work. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
This week, Haas Month rolls on as we dive into the career of Takeshi Morishima, a NOAH standout and former ROH world champion.
The big boy of Ring of Honor, as I like to call him.
The biggest of boys, which is weird because he's not listed as a very big boy. I think Wikipedia really devalues or really lessens his weight because listed as 6'3", 287.
That makes sense because he's not big. He's he's a little chunk.
I mean, he's kind of big. Okay, on the grand scale of things, he's not.
Okay, yeah.
Big,
Look, man, I don't know. You compare him to Bryan Danielson, KENTA, fucking Homicide, Austin Aries, Roddy. These are all the guys he's facing. These are all people that are under 5'10".
It's funny because one of the matches we see, he's actually with a bunch of other big boys. That's one of the tag matches we're gonna watch, and that's really fun.
It's the second biggest boy.
Before we dive in to this week's episode, a couple of things. One, if you're not already, go subscribe to us on YouTube. We have some wonderful content. We just did an episode of Take Card, Make Card, where it was all about matches that happen in Japan, and we tried to make our best card with matches that happen in Japan. You should be hitting like on the video if you're watching on YouTube already, and if you are, good for you. Be sure to share the podcast with your friends and make sure they get all this good content that we're making. But the biggest thing of all has to be that the boys have secured their tickets. We will be at WrestleMania 40. We will be in Philadelphia. I cannot express how excited I am.
Oh, yeah. Not just night one, ladies and gentlemen, but night two as well.
Both nights, we are looking to go to as many other wrestling shows as possible from Friday through Sunday night. As much other wrestling content. If you're a wrestling podcaster and you listen to us, let's fucking meet up. If you're a listener and you're going to be at WrestleMania 40, hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at Crossbody of Work. Connect with us. We would love to actually meet people who listen to the podcast. That would be cool. It's honestly, I have never been to WrestleMania, and neither have you. Nope. The biggest show I've been to up until this point was NXT TakeOver Toronto in 2016.
And that's bigger than the biggest show I've been to. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. I think the biggest show I've been to is the AEW. Yeah, Blood and Guts.
This is going to be the most overwhelming wrestling weekend of all time. We're so excited to link up with other wrestling fans and podcasters and people who listen to the podcast. We're going to make a bunch of cool content about our trip there. It's going to be super fun. So, yeah, obviously we don't know what's going to be at WrestleMania 40 yet, but we do know that there's going to be cheesesteaks and it's going to be a good time.
And we do know that I believe Philadelphia is one of our top listened to cities.
Yes,
in the U.S.
We do have the data in terms of who listens to the podcast. Shout out to Minneapolis, Minnesota for consistently being near the top. Shout out to Toronto as well for being the biggest Canadian city usually, and Winnipeg. Shout out to Winnipeg, you idiots. And
we fucking love Minnesota, baby.
We do love Minnesota. Philadelphia consistently in the last 2 months really listened to the podcast. We're excited to be there. It's the biggest thing that biggest wrestling show I'll ever be to. It's going to be the best. If we can make it a thing that happens annually, we absolutely will. It all depends on where it is geographically.
Yeah, I am not flying to Los Angeles.
No, I'm already going to be flying out of Canada, so that's enough. That's enough for me.
All right, okay. Let's not act like you're going from probably the Toronto airport to
Newark.
It's something that's 2 hours away. Let's not go crazy here.
Yeah, I'm not going cross-continent or anything like that. What do you know about Morishima? You know more about Morishima than I do going into this.
I mean, Takeshi Morishima, I don't know enough about his overseas work, and that's definitely a knock on me more so than it is a knock on him. He's done great work at NOAH. But he's really famous for his time here in Ring of Honor in the mid to kind of late-ish 2000s. The guy was just absolutely running through everyone. When Bryan Danielson finally dropped the belt, I believe he dropped it to Homicide, maybe? Question mark.
That sounds right.
I don't know who exactly he dropped it to, but Homicide eventually ended up with the belt. And I know Morishima absolutely fucking destroyed Homicide.
Yeah.
And then that's how he got his belt. He defeated everyone, anyone you can name. Bryan Danielson, yes. Kenta, yes. Nigel McGuinness, yes. Like whoever they threw up in front of Morishima, he put down. He was the biggest guy on the roster for so long. And he was just like kind of like a different flavor, I want to say. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't watching Ring of Honor when Morishima was around, but I obviously have gone back and watched as much Ring of Honor in that time period as I can, as I have done my best to watch pretty much all of Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And he just puts up consistently great matches with just the best of wrestlers. I honestly believe that Takeshi Morishima is one of the best dance partners that you can have, not like
Yeah.
dance leader. We've talked about this, like, and
Difference between
especially in the
being a
John
partner and a leader.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably he's up there for best dance partners that you could possibly have. He's not leading the charge here, but if he's your number two, you're gonna have a goddamn great match.
I just realized as we're talking about Ring of Honor that there is a non-zero chance that the Friday night of WrestleMania weekend is also Death Before Dishonor again.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be in Philly. They really aren't good. Tony Khan has been saying for years now he's not gonna do the whole Mania weekend loop thing.
Now I'm sad. We'll have to enjoy our Game Changer / Impact / whatever else is going to be there. Big Gay Brunch. Effie's Big Gay Brunch, baby. I love
I'll do
brunch.
I'll do a brunch.
Big fan of brunch. So a little bit about Morishima and his origins, as you would say. So attended high school at Urayasu High School, where he took part in judo. His instructor was Shoji Abe, and he was friends with Mitsuharu Misawa. And managed to get Morishima a tryout with All Japan. And then he passed and shortly began training with All Japan. And initially, he was the protege of Misawa. But then another guy named Marufuji joined the promotion, and Misawa focused on Marufuji. So, in,
Fucking Naomichi.
so instead, Morishima was taken under the wing of Akira Taue, which I think stylistically fits really well.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Morishima would debut for All Japan in '98, but left in 2000 to join the newly formed Pro Wrestling Noah, and that is where our first match takes place. It is Morishima versus a familiar face during Haas month. We're going to have a lot of Vader content coming up this month. It's Noah Encountering Navigation 2002, May 6th. This is a short match. It's a young Morishima. He's 23 years old here.
Jesus, and he looks it.
He's so babyface.
He looks it. He's got the long hairstyle. I mean, Morishima's look does not change throughout his entire career. It's just he just looks older as his career goes on.
I will commend Morishima. He doesn't change his hairstyle, which in the course of the so we're starting in 2002, we go all the way to 2013. His hairstyle is like ahead of the curve, and then the popular hairstyle, and then out of fashion, and he never changes it once.
I respect it. I mean, it's like it's the thing I respect most about Tanahashi is Tanahashi's hair is just a one of one that will hopefully never change. But it's just weird because like I don't know how to describe it. Like it was weird at first, but unique.
Yeah.
And then kind of became cool. And now him still kind of rocking it as he's an old man is like, all right, Hiroshi, let's start winding it down.
He can't get rid of it. That's where he keeps his secrets. How long have you had your current hairstyle?
God, probably like, I mean, okay, like I cut it like it's the same style, but I cut it so it gets short, and then it just grows back in the same way.
Yeah,
does that count?
No, but like how like this type of hairstyle, like
I mean, it's not been a year. Probably like 9 months.
What was your hairstyle before?
You remember? My hair was a little longer, parted in the middle, and just kind of goes to the.
Yeah, you had some golden retriever boy hair for sure.
Okay,
but it was dark.
All right.
No, it's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Thank you, I guess.
It's nice to be golden retriever. I've had the same fucking haircut since what is that? The summer of
birth?
2011? No, because I used to have. Oh no, summer 2012. I used to have like shaggy hair and like bangs. Like
really?
Yeah. And for those who don't know, if you're watching YouTube, I'll take my hat off. So I have the same haircut as every white man in existence, high and tight, and
The camera does you no favors, I will say.
No, there's so much real
Your
estate in
hair
your forehead.
looks way better in person.
Yeah, most of me looks better in person. And I had this haircut, and then I was working at a grocery store, and I was on break, and they had like magazines, and there was one on the front cover, and it said like hairstyles for every problem area, and I was like, all right. And one was like, you have a big forehead, and I was like, that's me. And I saw it, and it was like, do this because like these famous people also have big foreheads. Don't remember who the famous people were, and it was just like short on the sides, swoop it over, that's it. And I rocked that for was that 12 years now, and
Fuck.
yeah, it's so good that when I was in university, I worked like as an RA, and we did training in the spring before we left, and then we came back and we did more training. And a girl on my team genuinely didn't know I was the same person. She thought they had like fired a person and rehired because the haircut was so drastic.
I need photos. I want as many of these photos as I could possibly get.
They won't be
I've
on the
seen
Instagram, but I'll send them to you.
I've seen young Evan
Oh yeah,
photos, like child Evan
and that's why
photos,
you
and
know
like,
the hairline has been here forever.
oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. I don't know. You had like like a slight buzz, I want to say,
Oh yeah, I used to do the buzz every once in a while.
and
I used to be blonde too, like
or like
blonder.
the like what was it? It's like the straight up, but it's like flat at the
Yeah,
top, kind of.
yeah, like I was joining the military academy.
Yeah, like
Anyways,
you.
Morishima's hair, glorious,
Yeah, it's
weird
a
but
great, it's
glorious.
a good flow.
This match is taking place on the Boise State football of ring canvases because Noah loves just to have something a little different. They've got the
Yeah.
green canvas.
And they love to name every single one of their shows after like navigational stuff. I don't understand why.
They do.
It makes no sense.
We're gonna see navigation, great voyage, navigate for evolution.
Like, did fucking Misawa just like boats or something?
Dude loves boats. This match is, like I said, really short. Vader with some clubbing shots, Morishima with massive right forearms and elbows. They're just swinging at each other for the majority of this match.
Anyways, the clip starts. The match hasn't started yet. They're getting set up, and Vader takes off his mask. Does
Yes,
not
so
want to do this match.
Vader
with the
just
mask on.
hates his mask. Running shoulder block spot where Vader doesn't fall. Big clothesline finally gets Vader to the ground. Ground and pound elbows by Morishima. Locks in a leg lock. Vader then catches Morishima and runs the ropes with a massive splash and knocks the young man down.
Nasty ground and pound forearms from Vader. And then we get Morishima does a pretty sick hold. He does a calf slicer,
Yeah.
but it's like he's like hugging the calf with his forearms like in.
This is my friend.
Which, listen, I will believe anything involving the calf, because if anyone, like, if you have like, I don't know how to I don't want to say defined, but like pronounced calves,
Announced calves, yeah.
yeah, like you don't even have to be muscular to like have big calves. You could just have big calves. If you have like large calves and you just like push them in a little bit, pain.
Oh yeah.
And Vader's got some big fucking calves.
Vader then escapes from that leg lock, that calf slicer, catches Morishima as he runs the ropes with a big splash. Vader then, we get right to the finish. It's a choke slam to Morishima. It's a massive lariat. He gets the win over the young upstart.
That lariat, like, that was just bullying.
This is actually a good thing we should put right at the front of the podcast. If you like lariats, this is the episode for you.
Lariats and big forearm strikes.
Yeah, if you like people just beating the crap out of each other, if you liked bum fights, that you should watch these. I feel like the overlap there is strong. Remember bum fights? What a time!
Jesus Christ!
Our next match. Did we dive right in?
Fights.
Yeah, this match is from a little later in 2002. It is at Great Voyage, because, like you said, nautical exploration terms. And it's for the GHC Tag Team Championships, so the NOAH Tag Team Championships. It is Wild 2, which is Morishima teaming with Takeshi Rikyo against Akitoshi Saito and Jun Akiyama.
Oh, love a good Jun Akiyama.
I do like seeing Akiyama here. Harley Race is our ring announcer, which is weird.
Yeah, I saw Harley, and I was like, what the fuck is Harley doing here?
People are very respectful of him, but I was very confused. It's just Harley
Race.
Listen,
he got treated exactly how he should have been treated, but it's still weird that he's here.
Morishima and Rikio, so Wild 2, they are the tag champs here. Akiyama is in the white and Saito is in the black pants if you do go and watch this match.
Akiyama's the skinny one. He's the only skinny person in this match.
This is where I wrote, like, Rikio is a big boy. This is a big boy tag team. And then Saito has a glorious mullet.
And, like, the baggiest pants.
Oh, they don't look like they're his. Like, they look like he's holding them up with a wish and a prayer.
They look like they're Rikio's.
Like, that's true. This match, like every match we have this week, starts with a slap fight.
Yeah.
We should just also blanket that out there. Slap fights.
Squares up with Rikio. Saito squares up with Rikio, and they just bang, bang, bang.
How much money for you to join one of those professional, like, slap leagues?
They would have, like, how much guaranteed money? Like, how much money am I guaranteed to have?
Guaranteed. Like, they hand it to you in cash before you participate.
Honestly, like 500,000, and then I'm tapping out after the first one. I'm gonna be like, I quit.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like the right amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go buy a house.
Yeah, it's like, well, not a house. That's a solid down payment on a house here in America.
Yeah, it's here in Canada too. So big slap battle. Saito drops him with the clothesline, some ground kicks. Rikio catches one, pushes him down. Akiyama and Morishima get tagged in. Akiyama is just asking to get hit. And Morishima is obliging.
So we started off with a slap fight, but when Morishima comes in with Akiyama, Morishima's like, "Oh, you want slaps? Fuck that. Here's a forearm."
Yeah, forearms for everybody. Akiyama slaps Morishima to his knees, does it a second time during the slap fight. And then Saito gets tagged back in, and my favorite Japanese wrestling Elvis is going to work because he looks vaguely Elvis-ish.
Jesus Christ.
He
but
does.
like a Vegas Elvis, you know?
Not the real king of rock and roll, but like Vegas impersonator, $10 for a photo, that kind of Elvis.
It's like if you combined Elvis with like one of the freaking, like, what's that stupid like hick show? What is it? Trailer Park Boys? You combined him with one of the Trailer Park Boys.
You put some respect on maybe the greatest Canadian show to ever exist. All right,
that's a Canadian. What?
Yeah, they're in the East Coast. They're out there in Nova Scotia.
Oh, I did not know that.
Jesus fucking Christ, Ricky! It's great. I love Bubbles.
I thought those boys were in like Louisiana.
No, shit. Man, they're on the East Coast. They imagine if like Missouri had access to the water. That's Nova Scotia.
Oh, okay.
No, Nova Scotia is actually awesome. I really want to go out there. That's what the Trailer Park Boys are like.
They just have like a crazy exchange back and forth. Morishima goes down fast.
Yeah. Then Saito, like I said, gets tagged back in. Akiyama with a knee drop to Morishima on the apron. Morishima is being isolated because he is the smaller one in his tag team.
Which is fucking hilarious.
Akiyama with elbows to his throat. We get a headlock by him. At ringside, Saito throws Rikio into the guardrail. Morishima does manage to get some room here by catching Saito with a side slam. And then Rikio runs in the ring and does a double stomp onto Saito's stomach. There's also a lot of 2-foot stomps in this this week's episode.
All right, well, just a spoiler. Kenta shows up. That's why.
That helps. This is where I realized. So, sidebar.
Go ahead.
We all know how NOAH formed, right? Misawa didn't agree with Giant Baba's widow, and then he splintered off and he took a bunch of wrestlers with him. You can pick 8 wrestlers to create an offshoot promotion. They can leave WWE or AEW or Impact, whoever, but you need to come up with a reason they want to leave. Who are some of the people you take? Because, like, Charlotte Flair's not going anywhere. Seth Rollins isn't going anywhere.
Give me the Elite. So the 4.
Okay. The 4 of them, yep.
Give me.
So they start a third company. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Give me Adam Cole and Britt Baker.
Okay. You're just gonna and anybody from WWE, you're just gonna keep taking money. Well,
okay, I gotta think realistically. Like, who the fuck wants to leave WWE right now? Like, I'm not taking anyone from the Bloodline. They're not leaving.
I know, but you could probably take. There's some like mid-card guys you could probably take.
How many? What am I at to like now?
You're at 6.
Shit. Give me. Man, this is tough. Give me like Bobby Lashley.
That's fair. I can see Bobby going.
Give me Bronson Reed.
Okay. One of the first people I thought of, and I know that he's got like some injury things or whatever. I'm like, you could probably take Ciampa. You could probably get Ciampa enough money, and you could take
Yeah,
him
but
and Johnny.
look, if I'm getting the Elite and Adam Cole, like I need some size.
That's fair. And
I need some
Bronson Reed
size.
and Bobby Lashley are future Haas month participants.
That was difficult.
It is difficult.
I didn't
Yeah,
even think about how difficult that was because, like, you got to think about people that would want, like, will give, not even just want, like, have a reason to leave. The Elite have a reason to leave, which is like, the greener past, not greener pastures, but like a new challenge or
yeah.
something like that. Whereas, like, or if I just have like way more money than Tony Khan, Cole and Britt Baker would be a package deal. Why would they want to leave? I don't know. The women aren't treated great in AEW.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then Lashley is underutilized, and Bronson Reed came back and hasn't done a whole lot, so he might want to leave.
It's true. I think there are some other people who were like in there who are in like I said, like the middle of the card. Like, could you pry Miro away? Probably. Could
Yeah,
you pry Ricochet away? Yeah, probably. Like, offer enough money in a new spot? Maybe. Uh, Back to the match. Double run in the like double meet in the middle splash by Morishima and Rikyo, which is nice. Double foot stomp by Morishima. Saito's having a bad time. He's getting worked over now.
yeah. Rikio might be my new favorite wrestler
Oh, you
after
really,
this match. I
yeah,
just
you
gotta
really like
say,
this? Yeah,
this is my guy. Like, I don't even know how to. He's got the Okada trunks on with like the Okada haircut, and
yep.
like he's just fucking big. Don't get me wrong, he gets fucked up by Saito in this match, but he is just so fun, and like he's big and he uses it,
Hmm.
and I like it when big men use their bigness. You know?
No, that's fair. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Akiyama gets the tag in. They get a big slap fight. He wins with Rikio. We get a running high knee. Goes for a second one and is caught and just absolutely launched by
Yeah,
Rikio.
yeah,
That's when he became your new favorite wrestler.
yeah, something like that. Rikio hits a weak, or a little later on in the match, Rikio hits a weak looking like stack power bomb, and you can tell
Yeah,
it's just because he's tired. That's pretty
yeah,
much the story of this match. At the end, it's everyone's just tired.
yeah.
Um, Big lariat to Saito, who follows up with an enziguri on the rebound.
Hmm.
They
Which
both
I
men
I guess
collapse.
is Saito's like finish. The way
I
the
guess
crowd
so,
reacted. Yeah,
because he follows that up with another enziguri, and then Morishima has to come break the pin. And then Morishima is taken to the outside by Jun Akiyama,
yep.
and they just start fighting ringside. And at one point, Akiyama's just fucking
Just
holding
hold them back.
Morishima, like using the ropes for leverage,
Yeah,
holding him back. Uh, as Saito hits a Shining Wizard for a near fall, and then follows that up with an enziguri. Rikyo goes down like a sack of potatoes.
yeah.
1, 2, 3. Akiyama and Saito win the match.
New tag champs. Also, because they started getting like sponsorships on the apron here.
There's
Do
like
you notice?
ruffles.
Do you notice the big Xbox logo, like OG Xbox logo in the middle of the ring?
The best Xbox logo, you mean?
Agreed, 100%. Were you Xbox or were you PlayStation 2?
I had the PlayStation 1. Well, okay. My brother
Yeah, what's your what's your,
had.
what's your gaming system path? I feel like
Okay,
that's
so the first was the PlayStation 1.
yep,
Then I got this like limited edition N64 for Christmas one year that had
yep.
like Pikachu on it.
Oh yeah,
Um and then one that my cousin broke that and I was so upset. Uh
it's always cousins. It's always
and then
cousins.
one Christmas my dad got us a PS4 or a PS2 and me a Nintendo SP. And then from there we got the Xbox 360 because my brother really wanted to play Halo.
Fair.
And we loved Gears of Works, and it was also like my cousins had Xboxes, so it was like an easy link up.
Yeah.
And then I went from the 360 to the Xbox One, and then I mean that generation spanned like fucking forever,
Yeah.
like 8 years. So I just kind of upgraded from there, and then I got to the PS5 because it literally just didn't make sense for me to stay on Xbox anymore.
Super Nintendo, N64, Xbox 360, PS4. That was my path. I always did the Xbox while my older brother did the PlayStation, so that we switched. But then once I was living on my own, I really wanted to switch to PlayStation because that's where all my friends were. All right, let's take a break. When we get back, we've got a Misawa match. Back from the break, it is NOAH Navigate for Evolution. I'm so glad you picked up the fact that all these are navigational terms. This is so funny now. It is the Haruka Eigen Goodbye Tour Day 10, March 5th, 2006, and we have a battle between Morishima and Mitsuharu Misawa. Always fun to see a clash of generations. Misawa kind of giving up on him, and Taue being the one who trained him, I feel like adds a fun wrinkle to this match.
Yeah, and I'm sure these two probably had their blows before, because this did not feel like an epic encounter. Like, this didn't feel like an epic.
They've done
first
this
encounter.
before.
Yeah, they surely would have. It's kind of sucks that the Misawa match came at this stage of Misawa's career, because he's older at this point.
Well,
he's in his
that's
40s.
the difficult thing with the Clash of Generations, right? It's like, oh, it's going to be so cool to see this person wrestle this person. It's like, yeah, but this person's at a whole different stage of their lives, right?
Yeah, it's like everyone was low-key excited for Austin Theory against John Cena, but John Cena, he ain't that guy no more.
But also, Austin Theory is not that guy yet.
He's not. He might never be that guy.
I hope he is. I
just don't
think he has a lot going for him.
I don't see it. I don't know what everyone else sees in him. He's not a good promo.
Are you with me in the same boat of like, I think that everything WWE thought Austin Theory could be is
Grayson Waller.
More likely what Grayson Waller is going to be? Okay, good.
Yeah, Grayson Waller is just like a better Miz, which is good. That's a great thing. Former WrestleMania main eventer.
Interesting. A better Miz.
Okay, better Miz, and like he has potential to be a better Miz.
Okay.
Like he's not there now.
I was gonna say, oh no. All right.
He's already better in the ring than Miz has ever been. But
I defend Miz's in ring work.
You can do that. You would be wrong, but you can do it.
I think honestly, his promos about like how the fact he's so fucking reliable. Honestly, score points in his favor.
Cool, you're reliable. That doesn't mean that that doesn't add to your in-ring work, fam. Just means you're reliable.
It's still pretty good. Morishima is out hot here. Massive splash, clubbing blows to the outside early. We get a massive clothesline to Misawa. Big boot in the corner by Morishima. He tosses him out onto the big raised entrance thing. Then we get like a long headlock spot. Which
my favorite thing was he just casually hits a Yakuza kick, and then just like it's just like a setup spot. Like that really threw me off. I'm like, this big ass dude hits a Yakuza kick, and we're just like we're moving on from that so quickly.
Misawa gets free from the long headlock. Big forearm hits a suicide dive to the outside. Morishima with a clothesline off the top rope to the outside. Ooh. And then I want to bring this up because I don't think I'm exaggerating. Morishima hits one of the best big boots I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. it's great.
It's fast. It's clean. It clearly hits Misawa in the face.
Yeah. Who is your favorite big boot? And it has to be a big man. Like I'm not counting the freaking like Swerve Strickland like big boot. That thing is great. But like I'm talking like a big man hitting a big boot.
When it hits Kevin Nash.
Really?
Like Diesel era Kevin Nash could get up there with a nice big boot.
I love a Big Cass big boot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was gonna say Big Cass, but I didn't want you to shit on me for saying Big Cass. I love
Big Cass big boot. Big Cass got a great big boot.
W. Morrissey, Big Bill, if you will.
It's even better nowadays because he put some oomph behind it now too.
Yeah, only Big Cass if you're nasty. This one though, this is pretty good. Pretty good.
Morishima hits a powerbomb for a near fall. Morishima hits a powerbomb for a near fall, and then he drops Misawa with a stiff right hit. Misawa dropped like he was fucking Tyron Woodley, like getting knocked out by Jake Paul.
I was so disappointed when that happened. I was so pissed.
Everyone was like, "Oh my god, like what? Like Tyron Woodley's not a striker, man. He had one really cool knockout on Lawler, and then it was just like that's it. That's the only knockout."
Then on the apron, Morishima with a weird like slam thing off the apron where he goes with Misawa. It's like if you did a Russian leg sweep forward, but it's not the skull crushing finale. Forearms and a lariat by Morishima for a 2 count. Back suplex hits a nice Uranagi. On the apron, Misawa with a double underhook suplex off the apron, and the slow-mo replay.
Butterfly suplex
Makes it look really brutal.
Yeah.
you just see Morishima land, and you see like the vibration through his body. like the
He's a
shockwave.
very rolly man.
But also just like you just see in his face, and it's like, oh,
Very Pillsbury Doughboy. Misawa with a stiff ass forearm for a near fall. Misawa is laying in these forearms throughout this match.
yeah. Misawa seems like a tough love kind of guy, and I know Morishima's been here for a while now. Like this is 2006. You know, he debuted in
I think he's
'98.
currently the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Like, yeah,
Actually, no, is this early 2006? I think he
yeah.
wins it later in 2006.
This is March 2006. So he is the world champion. He won it
Oh.
no, he won the title in February or in 2007.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
never
he's
mind.
about to be Ring of Honor champion. Misawa does not give a flying fuck. He's just laying in with forearms.
Saying, fuck this dude. I'm not even the top guy around here anymore, but I'm still going to fuck him up.
Morishima hits some dope suplexes, hits a lariat, all caps because it's a lariat. Another back suplex. Misawa kicks out. Misawa firing
Saito.
back.
I don't care what they say. It's a Saito suplex. He's
It is
literally
Saito
trapping the arm and he drops him on his fucking head.
Misawa starts firing back. Hits a spinning back fist. Nice.
Yeah.
Elbows in the corner, elbows to a seated Morishima. Misawa even pushes the ref back when he tries to involve himself. Then this ending is just brutal. Big elbow, Morishima kicks out. Another 2 elbows, another near fall. Elbows to a downed Morishima. And eventually he just can't go anymore. Misawa pins him and he wins.
He just, bro, oh my God.
This
like,
is what that Randy Orton Brock Lesnar finish. This is like the good version that everyone's safe.
It's like that. There was nothing safe about what Misawa was doing to that man. Let me tell you something. That last forearm
Maybe
shot,
just expect it.
where he just like there's like a slight pause where he just looks at him after like wearing him down with all these forearm and elbow shots.
Yeah.
Where he just fucking lays in the last forearm, and I'm just like bro, like this is it's like he's freaking. Like he's like powering up a Hadouken, like or a Kamehameha. Like he's just ready to just fucking. He knows like this is it. Oh my God!
It's a brutal match. Not my recommendation, but a fun match to watch.
Honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these matches this week. Like
No,
the Vader
but
match, sure.
I do think the last 2 are the 2 best to watch. Specifically, the second last one.
Yeah. I love that big man tag match though. That was really fun.
That is the other. Both tag matches are the recommendations this week.
I mean, realistically, my recommendation is what's up next, which is the promo.
This promo that you chose, what in the blue hell? All right, so it's from One Pro Wrestling, which is a UK company. It's from Know Your Enemy Night 2, May 27th, 2006. We have Morishima backstage with Muhammad Yone, and they are just in front of like the one PW banner. And they're going to cut a promo. And in come Blue Meanie and Al Snow.
I think I'm turning Japanese.
Blue Meanie is singing I Think I'm Turning Japanese. Which, do you know what that song's about?
No.
It's apparently about masturbation.
Alrighty then. Al
Snow.
Snow.
A fun fact for you. Bring that up at the dinner table, friends.
I won't. Al Snow. It says Meanie's the only one turning Japanese. And he's the only one here that would be Japanese. He says Morishima is American, and his name is Bubba, and he's from Tennessee. And he says Yone is Canadian, and his name is Cleavon.
And he's from north of Windsor.
I don't even know where the fuck that is.
Detroit shares a bridge with Windsor. So if you're in Detroit and you go across the bridge into Canada, you're in Windsor, go north of there. That's where Muhammad Yone is from, apparently.
Sure.
For those who don't know, and I feel like this is obvious, both Morishima and Yone are Japanese.
But yeah, as Japanese as it gets.
They're from Japan. Jesus Christ.
He tells him not to start with all that because he can speak Japanese better than both of them. And then Yone has an afro, and he looks like he's from a black exploitation film straight from the 70s.
Yeah, there's so much about this promo that just will not fly nowadays. Speaking of things that won't fly, in comes Austin Aries.
No. Before that is the best part of this entire promo, where Meanie points at Yone and just goes, Pikachu!
Yeah, it's so shit. Austin Aries is here in the hat that the worst person you know wears. And he's here with Roddy Strong, who's made it out of the trailer park. He says that Snow and Meanie can't even speak English, and that those are the only 2 who can speak English. And apparently these three teams have a 3-way dance later, which is a fascinating match.
uh, Snow going that they should at least lie good. Instead, he says it like that. They should at least lie good. Um, he says, Arya says that he can't understand a word Snow is saying because they're dunk goofs. Snow says that Morishima owns a horse farm outside of Louisville, Kentucky, and Yona is from Michitori.
The best part of the ending. So eventually, Al Snow, Austin Aries, Roddy Strong, Blue Meanie all leave, and
No, oh no. Second best part of the promo is Yone says something, and Roddy's like, or Snow's like, see, you can hear the accent, and Roddy just goes, Georgia.
I didn't even catch that. That's really funny.
And Al Snow goes, Georgia, and he's from Tennessee.
Didn't even catch what they were talking about there. I think I was just kind of baffled by just the like thinly veiled racism of it all.
Harry says, yeah, they have a 3-way match tonight, and Snow goes, 3-way, menage a trois? Heh, I know you like that kind of stuff.
All the white guys leave, right?
Meanie runs off.
They all leave.
And Snow extends his hand for Yone, and then just goes, well, Cleavon, fight on, so brother. Bubba, good job. And then
Morishima just looks at the camera and says, we understand. And Yone just goes, assholes. So that part made the whole beginning part worth it. That part made everything else. But man, this just would never fly anymore.
How far deep in is this video? When you type up Takeshi Morishima promo, it's probably like the 12th video.
Okay.
But
the others, like page 4.
The others were in Japanese, and neither Evan nor myself speak Japanese.
Honestly, you know what would be awesome? Because we do cover a lot of Japanese wrestlers. If we have any listeners who do speak Japanese, if you could translate promos for us, that'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, just hop on the pod with us and translate the promos. We can
consistently find good Japanese promos, but we just don't know what they're saying. But if you speak Japanese and you listen to the podcast, hit us up at Crossbody Work, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, and we'd love to use your services to figure out what some of these wonderful promos are.
Yeah, if you want to be our volunteer translator for our notes before we record this podcast,
we'll shout you
hit
out
us up
and maybe give you some merch. We got merch.
We'll think about it.
We'll think about it. All right, we'll take the commercial break to think about. When we get back, we're going to Ring of Honor. Back from the break and time for a nasty tag match. It is Morishima, who is the current ROH World Champion at this time, teaming with a young man named Bryan Danielson to go up against Kenta and Nigel McGuinness. It is ROH Respect is Earned, May 12th, 2007.
This is the match of the week. This is not.
It's undoubtedly the match
of the week. This is like, if you have to watch anything from this week, it's this. If you have to watch anything from this month, it's this. Honestly, maybe even the last couple. Honestly, up until like Randy Orton, this is the match to watch.
That is Baldo disrespect, and you know it. So we know that Morishima won the title from Homicide in February. Who would he lose it to in October? Do you remember?
Was it Kenta?
No, it's Nigel. Wrong side, wrong half of the tag team. Shaved head, shithead Bryan Danielson is an all-time gimmick.
Recently back from shoulder surgery, I believe.
Still the worst.
He had already had his year-plus reign, and he is fucking great. I love this man.
Spiky hair McGuinness, also a moment.
I mean, it's just his whole ROH run was just spiky hair.
That's got to be so much work to do in the morning.
I don't know. You just do this with the gel.
But some of it's like individual spikes. Like it's not just one. He's not like doesn't have the Sky Duhati straight up. You know, it's like he looks like a mace.
I mean, listen, it's like the guy's a former Ring of Honor World Champion. I don't think he's like struggling. Like I think this man
he
just
can figure it out.
Yeah,
he's got this. Okay. If we try to go beat by beat through this match, 1, we won't do it justice.
1, I can. Believe me, I can. I have plenty of notes.
But we would be here an hour and a half? 2 hours?
Probably more.
Because there's so much good stuff. So first, let's talk about Morishima. How do you think he did in this match?
I actually liked his role in this match. He becomes angrier as the match goes on, and you can visibly see it. And an insight that I got from Bryan Danielson's book that he released was when he talks about the match against his like little mini feud match with Morishima. He goes, "Look, Morishima is a stiff worker, but when he's working with people that are smaller than him, like significantly smaller than him, he like treats them, he like babies them a little bit. He's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be."
he's a little more gentle. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little more. He's a gentle guy, and Danielson was saying like, no, like for the match that we covered, where Danielson loses or fucks his eye.
Yeah.
Uh, he was like, no, fuck this. Like, I want 100% full go, no holding back, Morishima. And he's like, yeah, I got you. And then he just wasn't doing it. So Danielson just pissed him off.
Yeah.
You could tell, like pretty early on here, he's acting pissed off, but he's just in character. He's not actually upset. And I think it's not until, honestly, I think Nigel catches him a little too clean with one of the European uppercuts.
Mm-hmm.
Where
I know
you
the
can
exact
feel
one. Yeah.
there's like a shift. It's like a series of European uppercuts, and then there was a shift in Morishima's like stiffness. Like you started to hear the pop a little louder after that.
I agree with that. And I think that the other thing for Morishima in this match is he's never the one in peril. Like even when it's his
Yeah.
team, it's Danielson who's in peril. He kind of gets a lot of shine, which makes sense. They're going to protect him. He's the world champion. But also, he busts out some moves we haven't seen. Like at this point, we're kind of
Yeah.
used to the routine. You know, lots of forearms, lots of elbows. You're going to double stomp some people. You're going to do all that. Can we talk about the handspring elbow or like the cartwheel elbow? What?
No, it wasn't even an elbow. It was a freaking forearm. He does the handspring, and usually you do the handspring into a fucking back elbow, which is
That's
not that
normally
difficult.
Yeah.
Like not as difficult, I should say. It doesn't require as much
An
dexterity.
extra
Like I
turn.
feel, I couldn't do it probably, but like he's doing a forearm where he then does a fucking pirouette midair
Yep.
and just freaking cleavers the guy with his goddamn arm.
He also hits a nasty pair of missile drop kicks, like the flat back bump type drop kicks. He does
Yeah.
a pair of them in this match that are incredible. If we had to break the match down into kind of segments, the first little bit is the feeling out process. Of course,
Yeah.
lots of strikes, a couple quick tags, things like that. And then the
KENTA versus Danielson.
the first person who's really in trouble in this match is Nigel. McGuinness is in trouble, and he's kind of worked over by Danielson and Morishima for a while. There's one spot I really like where Nigel tries to start firing up, and Danielson just kicks him clean in the face. And so he can't do anything with it. Also, he does hit a rebound lariat to Morishima after avoiding a splash. Hot tag to Kenta. Kenta's hot tag is very, very good.
Oh, it's a great hot tag, man.
What a surprise.
It's a great hot tag. He does like a missile drop kick to top it off, which was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Big running boot to Danielson in the corner. Like Morishima hits one of those handspring forearms, follows that up with a missile drop kick, and then just like starts fucking up Kenta.
Yeah, there's just so many big strikes in this match.
And then comes the part that we mentioned with Morishima where Nigel starts uppercutting him and just catches him a little too cleanly with one.
Yeah, because he's doing like the palm strikes. He is going for a couple other things, and then he connects strong with the European uppercut. And Morishima just kind of changes a little.
And then he hits the lariat. He does a top rope missile drop kick to Nigel, who no sells, and then lariats the ever loving dog shit out of Morishima.
It's a lot. It's quite a bit. Dragon Bryan Danielson also does some good stuff in here. He does the Dragon suplex, locks in crossface chicken wings. He's going for cattle mutilation a couple of times.
Full indie Danielson.
Yeah, everything out of his bag. You know.
Yeah, we did 15 matches pretty much worth of Bryan Danielson content. Go back and listen to the three-parter.
And he shows up a lot in other people's as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the big spot where Nigel and Morishima are working at ringside. He dumps Morishima into the front row, tells other people to move because that's a lot of person coming into the front row.
Yeah.
Goes to the top turnbuckle and crossbodies Morishima in the crowd.
Yeah.
Connects clean. Also, those chairs looked
crazy,
comfy
man.
for an indie show. They had like
right?
A
little cushion on them.
Yeah.
I was
I
like, what?
I was looking like obviously watching the match. I'm like, oh wow, it's a big spot, and then my brain just goes, those look like nice chairs.
Yeah. I will say, like, you've been to, you were at a Blue Jays game recently. Like,
Yes.
those, like, chairs that you basically get at ballparks and, like, just regular arenas,
Yeah.
they're not very comfortable.
No.
Last night, actually, as with the recording of this podcast, I went to the Jonas Brothers concert, which is at
Hell
the TD
yeah.
Garden where the freaking Celtics play. And I got club level seats, which are those cushioned, like, seats,
Oh
like the
yeah.
like movie theater kind of seats.
Yeah.
And brother, I was having the time of my life until I realized as soon as the concert started, oh wait, it's a concert. You
I'm gonna be
stand the
standing
whole
up the
time.
entire time. I'm right by these comfy seats that I will never use.
It was great for like 20 minutes. Let me tell you something though.
Hey, hell of a 20 minutes.
Uh, Back to the wrestling.
Back to the wrestling.
Morishima and Nigel are just pretty much done at this point.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just an exchange between Kenta and Bryan Danielson. Kenta at one point, so Danielson goes for flying headbutt. Kenta gets out of the way, or he gets his feet up, I should say, and then follows that up with the Psycho knee, which clearly Danielson ripped off.
Very much so.
And then finishes Danielson with a GTS. Morishima at the last second comes through and breaks the pin, hits a Uranagi on Kenta. Bryan follows that up with a flying headbutt for a near fall. They are just destroying Kenta at this point. And then the camera turns onto Nigel, who's getting his bicep taped up.
His elbow.
And no, it's his bicep. Like, it was very clearly going right here.
So I'm going with what commentary said. They said that he messed up his elbow.
Yeah, but the tape is literally going across his bicep. Like,
and the biceps connect to the elbow. I've done that song before. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, listen, considering the history of Nigel McGuinness, who literally the first time around when he was going to get signed by WWE couldn't because he had to get bicep surgery, I'm going to assume that this is the part where this might be the match that he actually did the initial bicep injury.
Damn. Unfortunately, because it's in quite the match.
Yeah.
So there is Nigel's getting his bicep taped up. Danielson
Wow,
up.
Kenta's getting murdered.
Spinning elbow strike for a 2 count. Nigel then makes the save as Morishima and Danielson are going for a doomsday device. Kenta manages to hit Danielson with a top rope Falcon Arrow.
Seth Rollins.
That's good stuff. Lariat by Nigel to Morishima, and you can tell Nigel's in a ton of pain because he uses the arm to lariat Morishima, and he's just down. This is also a good spot to do our weekly talk about the person who we're covering selling, Morishima. Talk about his selling.
Oh my god, man. He is really good at just acting knocked out.
Yes.
Like, he might be like S tier when it comes to people who are just like, I'm just knocked out cold. Morishima is up there.
I will say the only thing that I would point out about his selling is that his face only ever goes from like stoic to anger. He never really sells facially, but all of his other movements are there. He remembers things. If something happens in the match, he will carry it through. He won't all of a sudden get that super speed and be totally fine. Like, if he hurts his arm early in the match, he will favor that arm. He won't be able to get the power bomb up or whatever that is.
If you start kicking him in the gut multiple times, he's not going to be able to get you up for a power bomb
because he's winded. It just makes sense. Super back suplex by Danielson to Kenta, kick out of 2, and then he immediately locks in cattle mutilation. Danielson with the brutal thing of elbows to the side of Kenta's head. He gets to his feet, though, Kenta does, and goes for GTS, countered by Danielson. Dragon suplex, another cattle mutilation. Morishima's running interference on Nigel, and eventually Kenta is forced to tap.
After the match is hilarious because Danielson calls for the belt and then takes it and starts posing with it. Morishima hits him with a Saito suplex. This belt goes flying across the ring. Nigel picks it up, hands it to Morishima, and is saying something like, I'm going to be the one that takes. And then as soon as he said takes, Morishima just lays him out with a lariat.
God, I love that. That's fantastic. What I wrote down here was the last 10 minutes are bananas. And
the first 10 minutes and the middle 10 minutes were also bananas.
Everything's bananas. But specifically, this last 10 minutes is crazy. If you want something to go watch and you don't have a lot of time, just skip ahead halfway through even to the clip. You're going to have a wonderful time. You're going to get the whole gist. Holy shit.
It was great.
We got one more match, and it is against KENTA. We continue with our battles with KENTA. This time it's for the GHC Heavyweight Championships, so the top prize in NOAH. At NOAH The Great Voyage 2013, specifically the Osaka leg. January 27th, 2013, Morishima is heading in as champion. He's a 3-time champion overall in NOAH as a GHC champion, but at this point, he's only a 2-time champ. He's also a 5-time, I believe, tag team champion in NOAH, but with 4 different partners.
Good for him.
So once with Rikyo, twice with Yone, once with Kensuke Sasaki, and once with Maybach Taniguchi.
That's a good crop right there.
Quite the crop of people that he's hanging out with.
I love Yone. I wish we had gotten a Yone match on here.
There's no reason why we can't have a Yone episode soon.
Muhammad Yome has been on this podcast before. I forget what it was. It was one of the New Japan matches, I think. Yes. No. It might have been Japanuary.
I think he was in the who's the last guy we did in Japanuary from NOAH?
Oh yeah. It wasn't Seguro, was it?
Yeah, it was.
No. Was it? Okay. No, it was it wasn't Shiozaki either. Who the fuck was it? Evan.
I'm looking it up.
Evan. And while you look it up, I'm going to talk about this because KENTA. This is 2013. KENTA is as over in NOAH as it gets as a wrestler because he comes out and he gets some thunderous pop.
Didn't he show up in? Did he show up in the Nakajima episode?
It was Nakajima, I think.
Yeah, good stuff.
That should have been early Nakajima. That's the one.
No, he also shows up in the Shibata episode because Shibata teams with KENTA against Morishima and Yone. All right, that's enough about Yone. We'll do a Yone episode. It'll be awesome.
It will be awesome. KENTA starts the match with some stiff fucking kicks. Because if there's one thing that KENTA is going to do, it's kick you as hard as he can.
It's his favorite thing. And it's nice to do your favorite thing.
Him, Shibata, and Ibushi are the 3 hardest kickers in wrestling.
Agreed. You know what I also like? And I'm going to sound like an old man on a porch right now. Their kicks aren't just all super kicks. They kick a variety of ways.
They just kick the motherfucker.
Side kicks, PKs, thrust kicks. They do every type of kick. It's not just super kicks. Kids today.
Sometimes you get a super kick to the knee, you know?
I was reading a subreddit today, or a thing on Squared Circle today, and they said, what's the worst thing a good wrestler brought to the wrestling industry? And the top comment had 4. It was Shawn Michaels inspiring everyone to do super kicks too much. Mick Foley causing a whole generation of unskilled deathmatch wrestlers. CM Punk, because now everyone thinks everything needs to be a shoot or a worked shoot.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold's what chant? And
the what chant's number 1.
I'm sorry. It's not. I went reverse order. But I think as a top 4, that is perfect.
Yeah.
I hate all those things.
I hate all those things too. So the match. KENTA flips a Saito suplex into a press pin, and that's when I knew these guys had wrestled probably 1,000 times before.
Oh, yeah. KENTA then hits some more stiff kicks, locks in a chin lock. We get a big hip attack by Morishima. He's added the hip attack to his arsenal by this point.
Not a fat derriere, but he knows how to use it.
Just got a lot of heft. Goes to the top, gets drop kicked off by KENTA. We get a big side slam by Morishima at ringside. Morishima does the move that I don't know what it's called. I feel like you'll know the technical term. He does like essentially the half leg crab, but where he puts the arm over the
Brock lock.
It's the Brock lock.
It's the stretch muffler, but it's the Brock lock.
I couldn't remember the term for it. I'm like Brock does this, and I couldn't come up with Brock lock.
The hip attacks in the corner are fucking crazy because you could see from at one point they like cut to the camera on this like out ringside, so it's like kind of like to the side of them. And you can see this motherfucker's like hitting him.
KENTA chops Morishima down, locks in an STF. And this is where I realized that the NOAH has gone with like the really dramatic lighting for this match. Do you prefer when they do the dark crowd, all the spotlight on the match, or do you prefer to be able to see a little more?
No, I like a dark crowd. I think in wrestling in general, I love a dark crowd.
I think I weirdly like it just for title fights. Like I kind of because it gives you a different big match feel that if it's. Like,
I also feel like that's only when they do it. Really,
I agree, and I think that's like call.
Even like a Wrestle Kingdom, like you think about it, like you could usually at least see the first bunch of rows in the
Yeah,
background of the match, but like once it main event, maybe I'm just so sucked into the match. Like once the main
that
events
you
and
kind of
stuff
just
roll
tunnel
around,
vision.
that it's like I just don't even think like the crowd's not there. I don't see them.
That's true. Nobody will see us at WrestleMania 40.
Well, that's mostly because we're not on we're not going to be facing hard cams. So.
No, no. We are in the lower bowl, but we're not in
Yeah,
the hard cam.
good
What do you
seats.
think? We're made of money?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, listen, considering how much these tickets cost, we may as well have been.
It's true. But then I think of how much more they would have cost if we moved down like 6 rows, and I almost cry.
God.
So at ringside, Morishima's going for a powerbomb. Kenta tries blocking, turns into a DDT. Suplex at ringside by Kenta. Double rope foot stomp or top rope foot stomp by Kenta to the outside. Series of drop kicks in the corner, like he's doing the running drop kicks.
Yep.
Heads to the top, hits a diving stomp again for 2.
You know, Finn Balor, we need to talk because the things that you've done with this man's moveset need to be investigated by the CIA.
I was so in on it on Hideo Itami and Finn Balor in NXT. I was
When
so
they
sold.
showed up together as a team, I was
Oh my
like,
God.
"Oh, this is
to
awesome!
beat up the Ascension. That was so sick.
This is so dope." Because I had known both of them already, so I was like, "Oh,
Who's your favorite random NXT tag team, and why is it the Lucha Dragons?
oh no, it's not." It was, I think, Aiden English had a team with Dax Harwood when Dax Harwood was just like a mechanic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were called the Mechanics.
No. Aiden English was still very much in his in his
Vaudevillain.
singing. Yeah. He just wasn't a vaudevillain yet.
Still, justice for Bam, Blake and Murphy, baby.
Oh, actually, no. Now I think about it, it was a 2-on-1 match against Rusev.
Ah, good times. Good times. Morishima gets a little bit of advantage by doing some shots to the kidneys. 2 standing splashes for a near fall. I didn't know it was a top rope exploder suplex that Morishima essentially hits.
It's basically what I called it.
Yeah.
A top rope exploder suplex.
Follows with a huge lariat for only a 2. Kenta gets the advantage again. Hits a bunch of slaps. Does a running PK
this.
right to the chest.
Shibata has. I love that people don't use it. Like the PK is something that only a certain amount of people should be able to use. Zack Sabre Jr. using it, especially since he mostly uses it as a finisher when he's not submitting someone. Great. You know, Kenta.
I will always applaud Zack Sabre Jr. and now Gunter too for having a variety of things that finish matches.
What?
It's my favorite thing.
You know what is my favorite stiff looking finisher nowadays? It's Julius Creed's like elbow or forearm, whatever the fuck that he does while the person's downed, like just sitting. It's the best. The Creed brothers are great.
Creed brothers are really, really, really good. Kenta is a series of head kicks to the seated Morishima, then hits a GTS, and Morishima kicks out.
To the gut. He hits it to the gut.
Yeah, he doesn't hit it directly to the dome. Label lock, that's what I called it. Or
It's a label lock. It's 100% a label lock.
Morishima gets up. Kenta connects with another GTS. Morishima kicks out again. I was like,
yeah, that GTS was straight to the jaw, too. That's as clean a GTS as I've ever seen. And he hits it on a guy who's like double his weight.
Morishima then hits one lariat and then follows it up with, like, JBL is somewhere changing his pants after he sees this.
Bro,
lariat.
Stan Hansen is like, that's
good shit. It is one of the best I've ever seen. Picks Kenta up, back suplex, picks him up again, another side to suplex, goes to the well a third time, but Kenta counters, locks in the label lock, and Morishima taps really quickly.
Yeah, you could just see the way he had it, though, like the shoulder positioning. Yeah. Like, it looked like it was uncomfortable for him. Like, he probably may have had to hold a little more.
Yeah.
Like, as far as, like, you know,
the story, yeah.
How they planned out the match, it probably was him supposed to hold off a little more, but that shit looked uncomfortable, man.
So that was 2013. In April 2015, Morishima was forced to pull out of the 2015 Global Tag League due to an injury. On April 21st, NOAH announced that a blood test revealed Morishima had an abnormally high glycated hemoglobin, suggesting diabetes. Following his doctor's recommendation, Morishima decided to immediately retire from professional wrestling. On December 28th, 2015, NOAH canceled Morishima's retirement ceremony and announced that his contract with the promotion would be expired at the end of the year. Later, Morishima recognized the diabetes wasn't the reason for his retirement, but a bad physical and mental state. There was a planned return in 2018, but it was canceled after he had emergency surgery for arthritis in his foot. He has
Oh,
not been back since.
yeah,
Uh,
you can't fuck with the arthritis
and
especially in the
we
foot, man.
we don't have a lot about his personal life, but on Wikipedia, this is the only thing it says. On November 4th, 2018, Morishima was arrested at 11:30 p.m. local time in Kabuchiko, Tokyo, after assaulting a taxi driver. Morishima allegedly refused to pay the 18,000 yen the driver asked for and then punched him in the face, breaking both of his cheekbones. Morishima accepted the charges, saying, quote, "There is no doubt there was an argument." End quote.
How do you fuck up both cheekbones with
You
one
have you have
punch?
you have hands like Morishima.
With one punch though, like what the hell?
Like one and then like across to just rub his face.
Jesus.
I'm gonna go first on my assessment because you knew Morishima a lot more than I did.
Go ahead.
This guy rules. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's a lot less complicated than that. Like sometimes it doesn't need to be, wow, this intricate thing. Because sometimes we break down a lot of the intricacies. Like
Yeah.
the character works great. Morishima's character is that he's bigger than you and can kick the shit out of you. And then he does it on a consistent basis in a variety of different ways, fighting from underneath. It's funny because he doesn't change at all. There are times where I think he's presented as a little bit of a baby face here,
Yes.
but nothing changes.
No.
It's just who he's kicking and who he's forearming. And I
And
think
the moveset doesn't really change either from beginning to end.
it's true. I also think it cannot be understated how valuable he was to to this era ROH.
Yeah.
Like it was something entirely different. And so many people have like fond memories of, oh, this Morishima, the Joe match, or the Nigel match, or this tag match, or the Danielson, like all of these
Yeah.
matches that Morishima just showed up to ROH, ruled, and left. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean that partnership in the mid to late 2000s that they had with Noah cannot be understated. How important that was for Ring of Honor. I mean, the Kenta
And how
Kobashi match.
important it was for Noah too.
Yeah, I mean, it got eyes for them in North America, which was a market that was really, really tough to crack. I mean, New Japan, for as much good work as New Japan has done, they didn't really crack through with like the not, I don't want to say mainstream wrestling audience, because that's not it either. It's more so like there's a section, there's like two different kinds, I want to say, types of hardcore fans.
Yeah.
There's like the guys, there's not guys, there's like the people who are like tape traders or whatever, like air
Yep.
quote unquote tape traders, who are like going out and seeking all this shit and like watching it and doing everything about it. And then there's I would say more so people like me who like know it, and if they come across it, they'll like, watch. And it was really difficult for New Japan to really even get those people. And then, the stuff started to turn around the 2010s. New Japan got hot, and then now everyone fucking knows who they are.
It
Same
is
thing
one of
for
the
Noah. Same thing.
I know that it's so valuable. Just the way the world has become interconnected, you can just watch wrestling from everywhere now, and that's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
so good.
That's good stuff. You don't have to like have a friend's older brother who happens to have an ROH Death Before Dishonor. Like
I used to have to download Ring of Honor matches back in the day,
like on
like off of
LimeWire?
like not LimeWire. There was another one. It was like a torrent site or a torrent like application or whatever the fuck.
I gave my computer so many viruses growing up downloading fucking music.
I would have to do it behind my brother's back, and then like immediately delete it after. So
Nothing
they
like
wouldn't
downloading,
notice.
especially like if you're trying to download like a show or like I would download matches too,
Yeah.
and then you get it and it's not the right clip, and you're like, son of a bitch.
And it took forever.
You had to do it in the morning before school, and you came home and it still wasn't done. You're like, okay, at like 5:30 I can watch this. Anyways, that was great. I appreciated going through and looking at the career of Takeshi Morishima. Cool dude.
Love Morishima. That's my guy right there. Like he's not the best export to come over from Japan. He's
but
not
we
even
would
the best
be
export
sorely
that New
missing
Japan.
things if he never came.
Yeah, like he added a level of credibility and just size to Ring of Honor that was desperately needed at that time.
Really
and Noah, he was just a consistent presence across multiple levels on the card, and
Yeah.
he's just so good. He's just good.
Speaking of size, this next week we got more sides. It's the first ever 3-parter for a Haas. It starts next week at the very end of August. It is Paul White, the Giant, the Big Show, Captain Insano, whatever you want to call them. We're diving into early Big Show, which means we're looking at WCW, and I am very excited. The Giant was an athletic freak. He still is. Paul
Yeah.
White's a phenomenal athlete, even as he's getting older. But man, young Big Show, young Paul White, that man could move. So I'm excited.
I'm very excited to see some of this stuff, especially the WCW stuff, because I think I've seen the match, the what is it, the monster truck match, the thing
With
that he had
Hogan?
with Hogan,
Yeah.
and I think that's it. I have not seen a lot of the Giant in Ring of Honor. Wow, in
Ring of Honor would have been
in
something else.
WCW. Aside from like the stuff we've done on the podcast, which I think is just like World War III and then like some other stuff here and there.
We're gonna really dive into it. And weirdly, Big Show hasn't shown up in a lot of other people's episodes, so we have a lot of untapped Big Show content. Get ready for the stairs match with Eric Rowan. I'm half kidding. Go to fullpressshop.com, cop the merch, support the boys. Go to fullpresswrestling.com for all the links for all the matches this week. Our recommendation, of course, is the ROH tag match, but the other tag match as well is a phenomenal time. Follow us on social media at Instagram and Twitter at Crossbody of Work. Go to our Instagram and see all of the wonderful reel content we've put out recently. There's lots of cool stuff on there. You should also follow Javier wherever he tells you right now.
On the Twitter machine at JMellow Sports. It's also in the bio of the main account.
Follow me as well at Evan Gomes, ITSEVANGOMES. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. If you're listening on your podcast platforms, rate 5 stars. It helps us out so much. I know that recently we've actually gotten another 5-star review. I appreciate that very much. We see it when it comes in. Thank you. It's now time for everyone's favorite part of the podcast. Javier, any final words for the people?
This week on Life Advice with Javier, we need to talk about ticket buying.
Ticket buying.
This shit was hard.
Stressful.
Stressful as fuck. Evan as the international of the group, of the
Mr.
duo
Worldwide
here, had encountered some difficulties. I had to quickly rush to do otherwise. Also, shout out to Evan, because we would not have WrestleMania tickets if he did not send me a message. I did not know.
I am at work. And so we had been told that it dropped that there was a pre-sale happening on the Wednesday. And we were like, cool. And we were ready. I had on my calendar like 10 a.m. Wednesday. And then I'm at work and it's like 10:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have an email from WWE, and normally it's like, here's what's happening on NXT tonight or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'll just get rid of it. And it was like, flash pre-sales. Like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Javier jumped on it immediately because I had troubles doing the ticket processing. It wasn't accepting my payment, even though my card is
Evan
active.
hopped on the 2-day queue, the 2-day pass queue. And he was in that queue forever. And I immediately was like, all right, well, if you're going to be on that, I need to like check night 2. Let me just get on night 2 just in case. Like, I'll hold it down because I always know. I know there's a countdown with Ticketmaster once you add something to your cart. So I was like, all right, if I get it, I have like 8 minutes or whatever the hell it is for the countdown. In case anything happens, we're not able to get in the 2-day pass. Like, I need to know that night 2 is secure. So I get on there. The queue is literally 39 people. I was in within 5 seconds.
It's crazy. And then because I then went out to night 1, couldn't get it processed. Javier bought the tickets, hopped back in the queue for night 1, made it through the queue, and bought the tickets before my processing was even close to finished.
Yes. So here's what I want to tell people before they purchase tickets, not just for WrestleMania, just in the future. One, if it's usually going to be through Ticketmaster, have your profile set up, have your payment method set up.
Yes,
have Apple Pay set up. If you don't have Apple Pay, that kind of sucks.
I don't have Apple Pay.
Yeah, just fucking. If you do, if you're able to do it, because I just know some people just don't have Apple products, and that's okay. That's fine
me.
if you're one of those people.
That's me.
You do have an Apple product with an Apple ID, and you're able, like, you don't have to have the phone. If you just have like a MacBook or whatever, even if you have an iPad, just like set one up and just fucking link the card that you're going to use anyways. Yeah. It's fine. I promise you, it's fine. Just do it. You'll thank me later. You don't have to go through any hassle whatsoever, especially if you're doing it on your phone, like the purchasing of the tickets on your phone.
Yeah.
It's so stress-free and so quick. And again, make sure everything is set up with your account and everything. Just don't stress out too much. Like, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Like, it just wasn't meant to be. Like, there's no point in doing so, but it'll likely happen. Like, this is a show. Especially if you're doing it for a wrestling event, like, this show is going to have 70, 80,000 people probably at it. The odds of you not getting a ticket from this are slim.
Yeah.
They're expensive, don't get me wrong, but you're going to find something.
Yeah.
So just like, don't stress out too hard about it. Your time will come, especially if you're in the queue. Don't get impatient in the queue and like refresh or whatever.
No.
Never do that. Stay in the freaking queue and don't move.
Stand in line.
Just if you need to like take your mind off of it, just look away and look back every once in a while.
Yeah,
just
because
check on it.
a watched pot never boils, and a watched queue never fucking moves.
And again, you have 8 minutes or whatever, 7-8 minutes once you click on add to cart. You've got time, and that those are yours for the next 7-8 minutes. Do not worry about going speed demon and causing errors and everything. Take your time, calm down, relax, put all your information in, make sure everything's correct. Double check it, hit checkout, and then just have fun. Unless you live internationally, then I guess you're going to be in the processing screen of death, and won't go through.
You have to fight a polar bear to get your tickets. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We're back next week talking about the big show, Paul White. Well, we will see you next week.
It's the big show.